triple planetary crisis and warnings for humanity, and quick action is needed, especially since the past few years have seen record-breaking heat worldwide. Boris Johnson urged to tackle a triple planetary crisis threatening humanity. It's broken down into the impacts of climate change, biodiversity loss, and water stress. As we know, in a few days they'll have the Glasgow Climate Summit. China and Russia decided not to attend. Now, biodiversity investors, Tree Economy, says that the huge opportunity to create a lot of jobs and a net zero economy following a stark report by nature capital firm Cultivo. Harry Groket, co-founder of Tree Economy, exclusively said how private investment from bottom up can fight against these challenges. The report warns that global surface temperatures is 1.09 degrees higher than the decade between 2011 and 2020 than between 1850 and 1900. But the past 5 years have been the hottest on record since 1850, the past 5 years. And the recent rate of sea level rise has nearly tripled compared to 1901 to 1971. And at the same time, wildlife populations have on average declined by 60% since 1970. There's a potential for human action to cause the loss of 1 million species. And while 2.3 billion people live in water-stressed countries, of which 733 million live in high and critically water-stressed countries. So for us that live in the West and have plenty of beautiful clean water, we should remember to thank God for that clean water and all the people that help us have that clean water. Finally, support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below. So, 2.3 billion people live in water-stressed countries. Tree Economy focuses on turning land use from carbon source to a carbon sink, and the investors in biodiversity and tree planting in the UK handed Prime Minister Boris Johnson a plan to fight back against these crises. Groket believes that the need for incentives like grants to encourage investors into boosting a net zero economy. He said, stimulating a market like this quickly needs a systemic shot in the arm, so it seems unlikely that a single action would be enough. But in the UK does actually have a good precedent for this with the offshore wind business. The UK supported offshore wind development by providing first loss capital or grants for blended finance, which basically made these investments less risky for private investors and allows the market to take the in money while it was still forming. The recent England Woodland Creation Offers, EWCO, is similar and provides grants to support with the initial creation of woodland, so that's a good start, he said. EWCO lets landowners, land managers, and public bodies apply for funding to create new woodland. He said the UK needs to think of new ways to encourage investment as well. He said the UK now has its own domestic emissions trading scheme, ETS, having left the EU ETS, but UK ETS does not accept carbon offsets from woodlands into the scheme. He says moving to a smart hybrid ETS that accepts high quality offsets from woodland projects would allow a clear price signal for investors. It is also very important to ensure that there are incentive payments for more than just carbon. Otherwise, we would end up sacrificing important biodiverse habits, he said. And thinking through the supply chain we need, more tree nurseries, more tree planters, more project managers, more project auditors, more ecologists, more carbon traders, more carbon accountancy firms, and more tech companies like ours to make sure we can scale. That's a lot of jobs, and importantly, a lot of jobs of varying skills, so it really can act as a broad economic stimulus, he says. Scientists already warned that ignoring the climate crisis will yield untold suffering for humanity, even bring about the end of the world as we know it because of the flooding and whatever. atmosphere change. They say that although climate change will not directly cause an extinction event, that it could play a huge role, such as by leading to food and water scarcity, which has the potential to trigger societal collapse and setting a stage for conflict. Mr. Grocco also said the UK can benefit from the upcoming Glasgow Climate Summit, COP26, in less than 2 weeks, and other climate events to make sure it's on the right path to tackle these challenges. Now, he also said that the UK can benefit from this climate summit in less than 2 weeks and other climate events to make sure it's on the right path. He also said the UK must produce and be more proactive at more global events similar to this. The UK, he says, he has set a target of reaching net zero carbon emissions by the year 2050, but he also warned that we will only reach that target with the right policies and investments. And he said, we need nature to be on outside in this, not against us, and it is one of the most cost-effective measures we can take. We'll see what they come up with now in the Glasgow Summit, which will last about 2 weeks. This is by Jacob Paul on Express UK. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support.